Folks, that was an awful clap again. We're back. I don't know what we're doing here again, but yeah, we're still live. We're kicking, and someone else is moved in back in with his mom for
Oh,
the
very fun.
year.
Very fun.
Yeah, yeah.
No, not for the year. 4 months. Okay,
Oh, you only
four
have
months.
4 months. You only have 4 months.
Yep, yep. December 1st. I gotta get out of here. I don't have to,
You're not teaching.
but
You're not teaching in after December 1st. Oh, that
no, I
sucks.
will be. But just I won't be living here if everything works out the way I want it to.
I guess we'll have to talk more about that after the show, but we can talk. Like I said, that's after the show. We have stuff to talk about that deals a lot with this that I have on, and I'm just getting ready to it. Matt Araiza, less than an hour after we get off the air, does this
Yep.
news not drop? And it was a bombshell like that neither one of us saw coming. Like we literally talked this guy up, and
Oh, I
then
loved him. I loved him Wednesday night. I loved him Thursday afternoon.
and then Thursday evening
No.
it comes out.
Yep.
He is alleged. He is under. I shouldn't say suspicion. He's being not charged. What is the correct word? He's being accused of gang rape of a 17-year-old girl from his time on the San Diego State Aztecs back in October 2021. He's all I'm going to say is he's denying it as he obviously is going to. But Kevin, will let you start off.
So oh man, I had something I was gonna say here about this real fast. I mean, for the Bills, they had a good punter, really good punter on field. However, I'm really happy that the Bills decided to take culture over good playing. And let's be honest, there's not a less valuable position on the Bills team right now than a punter, because they didn't punt like at all in the postseason last year. So there's that. Number two, it's just no place for that at all in the world in anything, and I don't know what's going to come from it. But honestly, for all I care, I don't. He's out of the league like he should, and and the Bills have to figure out punter very soon. Matt Barkley got cut, so there's our number one punter. He's gone, so we can't use him. But I'm happy the Bills took the initiative and just got rid of him, because ultimately this is going to get dragged on, and this is going to be brought up every week about the Bills having this player, this person, this predator on the team. I'm a little upset that it took them as long as it did to cut him. It was a while afterwards that they cut him. It was more than 24 hours. However, they had to do their investigations. And the other thing that I saw was there were some teams that knew about this ahead of time during the draft process. So my real question is the Ravens. Yes, the Ravens knew about this with Matt Araiza. So therefore they took a different punter. So I wonder, did the Bills had to find out of this before it got leaked. And I think they did. It's just, I don't know if they were just trying to sweep underneath the rug and hope that never came out. But when it did, they took action and it went away.
Bills found out in July when the civil case came out. Bean said in his press conference, no other team knew during the draft process.
Oh, I heard the Ravens did. I was watching Pat McAfee, and I heard the Ravens did know something about Matt Araiza.
No. From what Bean said, he said no other team knew from before the draft. No one knew until publication, I guess, because apparently that's what someone linked to me, which I don't know why. But Thursday night, I said, okay, Matt, time to. I'm giving you the benefit. I shouldn't say benefit of the doubt, but let me rephrase this. I waited because I was like, we're gonna let the investigation go through. because it's not fair. It's not fair to hit him if like he's getting all this crap and he didn't do anything wrong. But Saturday night when he was released, I heard Brandon. What changed my mind on this is what Brandon Beane said is Matt is not going to be. Matt should not be worried about playing football right now.
No, absolutely not.
Matt needs to worry about this case, which something that's right. He absolutely correct. So I have no problem with Matt Araiza being released right now. If he's not guilty, he whatever he somehow comes back to the NFL, good for him. But for now, the last thing you need to be worried about is playing football for any NFL organization, and unfortunately, it means being cut by the Bills. Would I love to see him punt bombs down the field? Yes, but the fact of the matter is, he's being accused of a crime that, if committed, bury him under the fucking jail.
Absolutely. His parents came out and had an interview or statement with Channel 7, which was kind of funny in my opinion, basically saying about how he's being pre-convicted. Yes, he has had some heavy allegations, and all sources seem to have already convicted him for a crime without a jury and a judge, and complaining about how the Bills cut him without any sound evidence. However, that's the Bills' due diligence. They can cut whoever they want, regardless of anything.
At will. Yeah.
At will. So they can do that. So as much as yes, he lost his job, but I mean, so did 17 other Bills players today, and they didn't, and they're not involved in a gang rape of a 17-year-old. So regardless of what they think and the death threats that the family and him are getting, I mean, you can think what you want about that, but
I mean,
I go back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until now. It's like the death threats. Like,
I don't want to get into.
On one hand, they're not. They're never.
That's what it is. I don't want to get into.
Never okay, but on the other hand, it's a rapist.
He did do something.
Alleged rapist.
Yes, so I don't want to get into that much. However, the Bills have every right to cut whatever player they want. I mean, like, I don't know if you heard the news, but Josh Allen made the roster, like, last night. He was announced that he made the roster last night. So, like, he has a job. That's good. Matt Araiza gang raped a 17-year-old. He does not have a job and probably won't have a job in the NFL for a while, or if ever.
Yeah.
If ever. So, I mean, I've had enough. We've ganged up on Matt Araiza for too long anyways.
Hold on. Just one more. So, are we filling up our all-prison team? Because now we have Henry Ruggs,
Okay.
Matt Araiza. Who else is...
Josh Gordon.
Josh Gordon. Deshaun Watson should be, probably.
Ray Rice.
No, he's too old. He's not active.
Well, I mean, he's still in the prison yard.
He's not... He's too old. He's not in the league. Antonio Brown, he was suspected of rape, so like we've got 3 good receivers now.
Yeah, we just have no one to throw the ball to. We have a punter on 4th down, though. That's good.
You get Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, we have Deshaun Watson. Yes, he should definitely be in jail. Yeah, I mean the roster's filling up pretty fast. So and this is just 2021, 2022 season. So we have.
But hold on, since something, I'm gonna find the tweet. But this isn't funny. It's kind of messed up. But for Big Ben, it was throwing picks, raping chicks.
Oh man.
So for Matt Araiza, I had to say long kicks and rape.
It's yes, up. I saw that. Yes.
But I gotta find what did Urinating Tree say on this, because I remember I retweeted it.
Oh, I have not seen a Urinating Tree in a while. He has some funny videos, I will say.
So, Matt Araiza's new nicknames: the Puntophile.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Punt Godless. Minor Attracted Punter.
Oh man.
Career Coffin Corner.
Oh.
And then Sick Fuck.
Sick Fuck. That's pretty blunt. So, with those nicknames in the rearview mirror, we can move on to the other players that the Bills have
Hold on,
caught.
before I forgot to add this because it just I'm not. This isn't Araiza. This isn't Araiza. Josh
Okay.
Allen in the NFL Top 100,
Oh man.
number 13. How? Just how? How are you gonna say there's 12 players better than him in the NFL right now?
I don't know, and I don't know how Tom Brady gets number one either.
Thank you. I was taking a drink and
I
forgot to
think
say that.
right now there's three players that I could rank higher than him at number one. I have Aaron Donald, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes.
I could see Jalen Ramsey. I'll give Jalen Ramsey that.
I don't like him, so he's not on my list.
Travis Kelce's not better.
No, Travis Kelce's not better.
But he's ranked higher. That's why I hit it. Derrick Henry, I can see.
Derrick Henry, I'm good with.
If
I can even see Tom Brady ranked ahead of Josh Allen. I can respect that.
I can't.
I can't. Tom Brady did lead the league last year with passing yards, and so I can respect the fact that Tom Brady's ranked above Josh Allen, but he's not number one in the league.
Maybe one or two spots better than Josh, then, if that.
Maybe, yes, but I can still see the argument that he's ranked higher. But number one, that's just not acceptable at this stage of his career. I mean, Myles Garrett, I would have above him. Jonathan Taylor, I'd have above him.
No, like Jonathan, I can't pick 1 year. Jonathan Taylor had 1 year so far.
I can
granted, he's only 2 years in the league, but
Myles Garrett. You have Watt. Yeah. I mean, those players I could have above him. Jalen Ramsey, I would have above Tom Brady. So all those players that have above Tom Brady who shouldn't be one, I think in one of my biggest gripe with the top 20 is Josh Allen at 13 and Tom Brady at 1. Those are the fact that Josh Allen didn't break the top 10 is a problem, and the fact that 42-year-old Tom Brady is number 1 when Aaron Donald is a monster and Patrick Mahomes is running backwards, throwing the ball 70 yards down the field, and making completions.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just that.
So I just thought of this. So, in order to be a good defensive lineman in the NFL, do you have to swing helmets?
I mean, yeah.
Because now Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, they both have done it now, and they're both like 1-2 for defensive linemen in the NFL.
Yeah, we just need Ed Oliver to start doing that, and then we'll have number 3. I'm content with that.
Ed, don't practice.
No, don't do it in the game. Do it in practice, and don't hit Josh. You can hit Zach Moss because I don't think he should have made the roster. Speaking of roster moves and the Bills, we have some cuts by the Bills, and there was some that we called last week on the podcast. But there's also some that was a little bit of a surprise, even for me. Like one of the big surprises that made the roster, in my opinion, was Stevenson, the wide receiver, draft pick last year. I thought that he was a cut. I thought Isaiah Hodges did enough to win that spot for him. Especially because Stevenson wasn't taking. Was Stevenson doing returns? Was that?
Okay, Stevenson, yes. Him and McKenzie both were.
Okay, so Stevenson's probably got that position because he was doing return. Any other noticeable cuts that I saw? Oh, the biggest one, O.J. Howard cut. That means they have big faith in their Morrison, right? Morrison, I believe, is the tight end that they drafted this year. Or he might have been a free. He might have been an undrafted free agent. Yeah, Quentin Morris. He was not drafted. Let's see, how old is he? He's 23 years old. He was undrafted out of Bowling Green. So Bills clearly have interest in him. Cheaper, younger option for tight end number 3. He has, from what I heard, he's a converted wide receiver to tight end, so he has probably better hands than what OJ has. Um, and then let's see, another roster make that I think is noticeable is Jameson Crowder. His preseason was horrific. However, I think he has versatility. He could play outside and inside the slot for the Bills. So he could play any position, which I think is good. And I think Isaiah McKenzie has gotten that one spot in the slot. But you have that veteran presence in the back, Jameson Crowder, just in case Isaiah doesn't pan out. And maybe throughout the season they want to move him back to a gadget player. However, I think with the preseason that they've had, um, Crowder was number 2 behind Isaiah. And then running back, they did keep 5 running backs. You have James Cook, the rookie, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, and Reggie Gilliam, the fullback. Raheem Blackshear, I would be very surprised if he does not get picked up on the practice squad. However, he did have a good showing, so he could have an option for another team. I know Duke Johnson also looked good. His injury was a little scary, but the veteran presence that I heard that he had for the Bills running back was great. So maybe another team would be interested in that. Another roster surprise is the Bills' 7th round pick, Balin Spector. He had I think he was second in the league in tackles this preseason with 24. So they have another young option there at linebacker. So maybe when they're facing a more run heavy team, they could do that. Nick McLeod was cut, and Christian Benford, also late round rookie, made some impacts and made the roster. Besides that, I don't think there's any other real surprises that I could see or think of the preseason cuts for the Bills. Do you have anything else to add about the cuts for the Bills?
I was just going to go through the whole list. Matt Barkley, Greg Manses, Luke Tenuta, Alec Anderson, Raheem Blackshear, Duke Johnson, Tanner Gentry, Isaiah Hodgins, O.J. Howard, Mike Love, Kingsley Jonathan, Brandon Bryant, Prince Emily, C.J. Brewer, Joe Giles Harris, Nick McLeod, and Jamarcus Ingram, along with Matt Araiza.
There's a lot more on here. I have a whole bunch. So I mean, there's no point in going through them all because there's quite a bit of them. There was over 17 cuts through all in all to get the Bills down to 53. But the big question is, they have it down to 53. They're going to have to cut one more player to sign a punter. One thing that I did notice is that they have 53 men on the roster currently. And oh my God, as I'm saying this right here, Sabres bet on Tage Thompson, a 7-year extension with a $7.1 million offer. This new pact will begin 2023-2024. The 24-year-old with 1 year remaining on his contract has a current hit of 1.4. This 7-year extension is worth $50 million. Okay, that was a quick jump because that just popped on my screen and had to say something. We haven't talked about the Sabres in weeks, so there's my Sabres talk. Bills roster looked good. There's some players that got cut from the Bills that will get signed and will play for other teams. That's just how good the Bills roster is. And the Bills might bring in other players as well. I still would be very surprised if OBJ does not end up on this roster before week 4. That would really surprise me, as much as I know some Bills fans don't want him to. How can you not want another dynamic receiver on the team? The Bills would be fine without him. The Bills would be great with him. So that's the Bills for August 30th. I mean, it's coming soon. We have a week from Thursday. No, yeah, a week from Thursday. Week from Thursday, 8 o'clock in LA. Very, very exciting. We'll have to. Oh man, next week we got to do games. Yes, this is our first regular season doing this. So we have like 20 weeks of 23 weeks of predictions. Super exciting. Perfect. We got to get some kind of ledger going. We got to do a record.
We'll have to do like NFL.com or something like that.
Yeah, we need to do a running record of our picks.
But speaking of picks, I'm not gonna make picks on here because you don't know NASCAR. But Austin Dillon clinches his way into the NASCAR playoffs, thus knocking Martin Truex Jr. out of the playoffs, and NASCAR starts their playoffs this Sunday at 6 o'clock NBC from Darlington Raceway, the Southern 500, one of the crown jewels in NASCAR. But it was a wild Daytona race going back. Got moved from Saturday night to Sunday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning because of rain.
Heard there's cars on the road, broken down cars. It was crazy. I stopped by my grandpa's house, set up fantasy, and he was just telling me the cars, and it was a rain delay for hours, and broken cars, and this, and that. And I'm just like, yeah, isn't that the final race? Isn't that how it should be? Exciting, nerve wracking. Was that good, bad weekend? What's your opinion of what happened? Clearly, it could have been controlled, but
So,
as a fan,
go like it's just not so like this is the first time that the last race like this was won by like an underdog since they moved it to Daytona. As far like it was good racing and whatnot. What kind of killed it and what I call a poop show because one wreck took out the majority of the cars and the only car really left was Austin Dillon's car because he was able to avoid the carnage because of the rain in turn one. Everyone else wrecked.
oh,
Yeah, I'm like, go after the show. Go and look it up because like you can see like every car is spinning because it's wet, and you just see the one car just go down and avoid it all, and because of that he avoided. He didn't get the damage. He damaged like everyone else. Like it took out a lot of cars, and he was able to go on and win the race, clinch his spot into the playoffs. Granted, he also had help from his teammate in Tyler Reddick to help push him there and block anyone to make sure that they were like, yeah, you're not getting around us.
I like that though. I like that happens. There's some teamness in that.
I mean, I don't. You can't blame Reddick for doing that. You can't blame Austin Dillon for. I know a lot of fans don't like it, but you know they're gonna do what they can to win a championship. It's what I've said. So now, trying to win a championship are the New York Yankees. They've gotten a little better. They're still They split against the Athletics. They lost last night to the Angels. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Right now, we keep saying Boone's got to turn it around. Boone's got to turn it around. Boone's got to turn it around. We're starting to get to September. Something's got to change.
They still have a hold on the division, though.
Yeah, there's still probably 6 or 7 game lead on the division, I believe.
7, yep.
But that can be made up.
One bad week, though. One bad week that can make a difference.
I mean, look at 2011. You had the Red Sox miss the playoffs after having like 11 games lead on the wild card over the Rays, just lose it on game 162. So anything's possible, and yeah, that's true. I'm sitting here holding my breath because I know the Yankees, they were so good at the beginning of the year. They're starting to fall apart now, and I don't know why. But now, Kevin, Take it over, because you are making the picks. I am not, because I'm making each and every one of you go read my article when I have it written up. I haven't even started it yet, just to let you know. So it probably won't be up until about the first of the month.
So this
good luck.
Sunday at 2:00. No, Saturday. Saturday at 2:00.
1:00.
1:00. Whatever. Well, this Saturday. I'm not watching a Saturday. I'm watching a Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. So the first match in, I'm just going right down CBS Sports. So the first match, they have an undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. They've been setting up this match for months. I find it very, very hard. Getting this very, very hard for Drew McIntyre to not win this match right now in England. I find this very hard for him not to win. Sorry, there's a catastrophe happening with my fish tank in Fredonia. Next one, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Bayley. If you go now. Sorry. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I have predicting Bayley and Io Sky and Dakota Kai winning that match. I find it very, very hard for the first pay-per-view back that Bayley would lose. I think Bayley will have the championship around her waist by the end of the year. Also, by that time, I don't know if they're finishing up the women's tag team tournament on Friday. But if they do, Dakota Kai and Io Sky will have the tag team championships when that tournament is done. I just don't know what time that is going to be finished or what week or when they're planning on doing it. I don't know. This week is funny with WWE because they have a pay-per-view Saturday across the pond. So their SmackDown, I believe, is being taped tonight. Seth Rollins versus Riddle is the next match on the card. I have Riddle winning this match. But I could also see, oh man, I have Seth Rollins winning. Actually, I'm changing my pick on the fly. Seth Rollins finally wins a match on pay-per-view. I think this is where you could see the return of Randy Orton. I love the feud they have going on. I think it's amazing. Gunther versus Sheamus. As much as I would love to see Sheamus win, I don't have him winning. I have Gunther winning. Miz versus AJ Styles. I'd be very surprised if this match happens. Or finishes cleanly. But I have AJ Styles winning because the Miz loses all the time, and I'm not happy about it, but it's the truth. Finn Balor, that got changed. So now it's a tag team match, Judgment Day versus Edge and Rey Mysterio. I have Edge and Rey Mysterio winning that match. And I think that all of the matches. No, I missed the SmackDown Women's. We have not Alexa Bliss. We have Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. And I have Baszler winning that. I think Baszler is going to go back to her dominant run that she had at NXT, which she was nearly impossible to stop. And so she, now with Triple H running creative, I believe that she's going to go back to the form she was when Triple H was running the show. And that is my predictions for Clash of the Castle, first pay-per-view in Europe in years, 20-something years. So very exciting. This is the first pay-per-view that Triple H has had full control of build-up from last pay-per-view to this pay-per-view. So it should be very, very, very good match. It should be good. Storytelling's good. It all should be good. Very exciting.
Yeah, especially after the promo that Rollins and Riddle had last night.
Insane.
There needs to be a stipulation on that one.
I think there has to be. I agree with you completely.
That was straight fire.
Oh my gosh, that was,
as the kids say.
as the kids say. I have to find all the new lingo. I got to bring it back. Every week we have to have a lingo with Mr. Capstick because I'm gonna be learning all of the third grade lingo.
Oh
So
no. Oh no.
yes, third grade lingo. We have to make some kind of segment. We should have segment names. Oh man,
Oh dear God. What did I start?
oh man, I'm gonna have to come up with segment names. Oh
You
man,
do that when you're at school because you're gonna have a lot of time
I will.
teaching.
I will. I will do it when I'm teaching kids. I'm very excited to be teaching kids.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll turn
So,
out smarter than you.
is there anything else that we need to talk about? You already talked about Tage Thompson. And I was gonna bring it up at the end here.
No, Tage Thompson. That's exciting. Oh, you also have to go watch Jeff Skinner's Embedded with blue and gold. That was really funny when he did the first pitch for the Bisons. That was really funny. Um, Subban was also there. Must be really good friends with Skinner. He could not throw a baseball to save his life. It was the funniest thing in the world. Seeing a very athletic man look very unathletic throwing a baseball definitely made me feel better about the way I throw a baseball. So that was funny. And Jeff Skinner is just a funny guy, and also Owen Powers there, and so getting to know a little bit about that younger talent that's going to be um,
Taking over the
a
Sabres.
core defense for the Sabres, which was a weakness, which I don't think is going to be next year. Um, so there's that, and very very soon we're going to be talking about Sabres camp preseason. When does the preseason start for NHL? Oh, soon.
Soon, like his pretty sure it starts like September because like the first games are in
I think it's
October.
Yeah, September 24th is the first game, so about a month, a little less than a month. Um, yeah, Sabres' first game is the 25th at Washington.
Yeah,
So,
we say that the NFL preseason really doesn't matter. You really want to talk about preseason? That doesn't matter.
but no, but the difference between preseason of football and the preseason of NFL, no, of hockey and the NFL is that those players that don't make the team, they go down to Rochester and they still play meaningful hockey. Those players that don't make the Bills, what do? They don't really go anywhere.
I think the most meaningful preseason of any of the leagues, which this could be bias here, is the MLB, and I think 2020 proved it because they didn't have spring training then. They had like 3 days. They had like a week or 3 days to get ready before the season started in 2020, and you saw a lot of these guys get hurt because their bodies weren't used to it. So again, I could be biased, but I got
I
my
think
beliefs
for
to see.
I think for fans though, I think NHL is most and could be most important to watch because you have those younger players, especially for the Sabres fans. The last couple of years, the preseasons. I know I don't think there was a preseason last year or the year before, but which is the Sabres had the most talent down in Rochester. But they have an opportunity to watch those players. JJ Paterka. You have oh man, I'm gonna not be able to pull anybody out. Owen Powers. You have Isaac Rosen. You have the Johnson from Michigan. You have UPL. You have Devin Levi. You have Portillo. You have all these names of players that you can watch that will be stars in the NHL someday. So even though it might not have a impact on the season, I think as a fans, I think there's more watchability for the future compared to especially NFL.
Yeah,
Um, there's more there's more impact on the future roster than the NFL does. The NFL you can only keep like 7 players, and most of the time those 7 players don't see the field unless it's the COVID year, where you saw a lot of those players take the field week in and week out.
I hate how Justin needs to turn his freaking scanner down because that's what you hear. But that's gonna do it for us here. Um, we'll try to be next week. We're gonna have to make our season long pick. No, I shouldn't say season long picks, but our season that we messed
Week
up
one,
because
yeah.
the site
Oh
messed
yeah,
up.
we got to do that. There's
And a lot
a lot
of
of important.
a lot of stuff has changed too.
Yeah, A lot of stuff has changed. Is there any trades you want to talk about? Lavichko Shenault to the Panthers. That was interesting. Panthers have a lot of receiver depth. I kind of felt that Lavichko was not being utilized very well in Jacksonville. However, I don't think he's going to be used very well in Carolina either. Um, Gardner, let me get his name correctly.
Minshew?
No.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson?
Yes. Was traded from the Saints to the Eagles. Nick Mullins was traded to the Cardinals from the Raiders. Alex, what's his name? Leatherwood was cut. He was a 2021 first round pick from the Raiders. That crazy pick that they made clearly was bad. And Jimmy G takes a pay cut. And I believe that was due to the fact that there was some communications between there's some interest of Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Seahawks. So they decided to not cut him and instead changed some of his salary into a bonus to get him paid so that they don't have to lose him to a division rival.
And so it helps them with the cap.
It also helps with the cap. I think Jimmy G to the Seahawks. I mean, you're looking at a different team. Look at a different team.
It would be because he's a game manager, and they don't have like a complete team, but they're not gonna
They don't have
make
much
the playoffs
of a defense,
with Jimmy G.
They don't have much of a defense, but their offense could be lethal with DK, Tyler Lockett, and the running back they drafted, and Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny. I mean, they could have a good offense. But Geno Smith's won that position, so there's that. Man, NFL, that's really it. Preston Williams was released from the Dolphins. That doesn't really bother me.
Who's the running back that was just released? Tony Michel. He's no longer a Dolphin. They're keeping Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds.
So that's interesting. I'm just scrolling through the news right now, and the Steelers expect to keep Kyle Rudolph despite some teams being interested in a trade. That's very interesting to me because I find him to be the third best quarterback on that roster.
So Kyle Rudolph is a tight end.
Is that why was I thinking
Mason Rudolph?
Yeah, it's Mason Rudolph. Sorry, Mason Rudolph. But he's being the third best quarterback on that team. So that's interesting. I don't really. I mean, that's the NFL news. I mean, besides the Alex Leatherwood, that was the only big surprise for cuts today, and I guess maybe OJ Howard was probably the second biggest surprise. Honestly,
yeah, it makes no sense that they'd sign him and then drop him like this. I don't get it, but
I was excited. I was really excited about the pickup this offseason. But yep, in Bean we trust, and I trust the process. So it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it until, well, we'll find out when I complain about it. It will be on here.
I'll wait and see what this guy does. We have the Rams coming up September 8th. So yeah,
exciting.
That will do it for us, folks. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week, like always. Maybe, who knows? Actually, we don't know because Kevin's got to teach. Maybe he gets arrested for punching a kid.
Yeah, maybe it's a goal.
Just take one swing. That'll do it. Good night.